This is Zach, the Celtics guy, and this is part 2 of my creative writing story about the Indigo Islands story for the Pogo Islands with regards to the murder by perjury case. Short story by Zach, the Celtics guy. And this is part 2 and the conclusion of this story by me. Infamous Indigo Island man responsible for false 1999 execution of an innocent woman has also been executed. Bluebonnet Pogo Islands. The man who testified and lied under oath in the Indigo Island Capital Court back in 1992, known as Alan Van Spalding, was executed by hanging yesterday at dawn in the Indigo Island Penitentiary Facility at Avon on 13 May 2008 for deliberately causing the false 1999 execution of a woman named Rachel DeLark 9 years ago. 9 years previous to that. He made no final statement and showed hardly any remorse, but did have a last meal, however. Alan Van Spalding was hanged to death as a punishment here in the Indigo Island Penitentiary and pronounced dead at 7:01 a.m. Bogosian Eastern Daylight Time, UTC plus 500 time offset, for lying to cover up for his friend Hal Van Gilligan, who later confessed to the kidnapping and murder of 14-year-old Rachel DeFranklin back in 1989. It is reported that in mid-1990, Van Spalding and his friend Nicholas Eldell conspired together by forging evidence and documents against Rachel to make it look like she was behind the murder of Rachel DeFranklin. They then later brought it to police, who believed it and handed it over to the court, which then resulted in Rachel being arrested and tried in court for the murder. She was, in fact, innocent and pleaded her innocence, but because the evidence was considered indisputable at the time, she was unfortunately sentenced in a miscarriage of justice. Nicholas was suborned by Alan to tell such story in court, which Nicholas did, and the jury was then convinced of it. This is the crime of subordination of perjury, which is inducing and getting another person to lie for someone or that particular person. But the jury still found her guilty. In a unanimous decision and in a complete miscarriage of justice, she was sentenced to death in April 1992. It wasn't until 7 years later, on 17 August 1999, the evidence was believable, and nearly every appellate court on this island rejected her plea for clemency, and she was then executed. Her final words were, "I know Alan and Vandell and Nicholas Eldell made up a lie to get me put to death. They were always out to get me my whole life, ever since high school. I want to go peacefully. I want to stop being tortured about this crap. So feel free to put me to death. Believe what you want, but I know the truth. The truth is, I'm innocent, and down the line you will see that I was innocent this whole time, and history will prove you wrong." Her life was then taken by a malicious lie made up and forged by two co-conspirators. Ironically, it turned out that history has proven Indigo Island lawmakers very wrong, and in the end, Rachel was right all along. Ironically, it turned out that history was on her side because of the fact that she was put down for a crime that she did not commit, for a 1989 murder committed completely by another person. Soon after, Rachel's mother pleaded for forensic evidence to prove her daughter was innocent and knew that Vandell and Aldell caused her life to be taken away by a lie before a court. And search for answers as long as I am alive. I will continue to look and search for answers as long as I'm alive, Rachel's mother, Henrietta, said in March 2004. She did not give up. Between the fall of 1999 and early 2005, forensic experts examined the evidence, and nearly every court continued to reject it nearly 10 times after that, but still determined it was authentic. There were still questions up in the air about it. Forensic evidence experts still did not give up, and it wasn't until mid-late 2006, over a year later, that the Indigo Island Prosecuting Authority examined the evidence and declared it was forged, and then opened up an investigation against Alan and Nicholas, who brought the evidence to start with. They officially concluded it was false in September of 2006, and then Nicholas and Alan had a warrant out for their arrest by the Indigo Island Police Force. Prosecutors finally realized, and then they turned around and said that it was about damn time, and that they did not believe the story from the beginning, claiming that when they were up there singing that song, I didn't believe it from the beginning. They're going to get what's coming to them. And they did. And after nearly 2 decades of unanswered questions, on 15 February of last year, 2007, Alan finally confessed that he perjured himself, causing the execution of Rachel DeLark on 17 August 1999. And on the same day, after just 90 minutes of deliberation, the jury unanimously recommended Alan be sentenced to death. And he was officially sentenced to death by judge on 15 March 2007. And shortly after Alan was sentenced to death for the first time by a jury, Nicholas finally confessed that he lied for Alan to get Rachel DeLark executed. So he basically told everyone what they already knew from the beginning, in addition to what they already knew about Alan from the very beginning. The only reason Alan was executed this quickly was not only did he confess to his crime in an uncoerced manner, but because he waived all of his 3 appeals on 3 separate occasions and basically asked for his execution in the end, once he failed to gain clemency from the Commonwealth governor. Alan made 3 appeals to the Indigo Island Appellate Court on 29 June 2007, 21 December 2007, and lastly on 13 February of this year, 2008. And once that was denied, he waived any further appeals and asked to be executed. And he was. Just over a little bit over a year later. His final meal consisted of 2 cheese omelets, 2 pieces of white toast, a raspberry Danish, and an iced coffee with milk and sugar. Escorted to the gallows at 6:57 a.m., and the hanging noose was tied around his neck a minute later, and at 7 a.m. on the dot, his body went through the trapdoor in the Indigo Island Penitentiary execution chamber, and as the trapdoor opened, he fell through, and the hangman's noose caught his neck. Death came almost instantaneously, and he was pronounced dead exactly a minute later. 7:01 a.m. UTC plus 500 time offset on 13 May 2008. Executed 9 years after innocent Rachel DeLark was executed. And his co-conspirator was sentenced on 22 March of last year, 2007, to 2 life terms in prison plus 52 years in the Indigo Island prison at Auchlore with no possibility of parole. Today is a day of justice for Rachel, Mrs. DeLark said. Mrs. DeLark's father, Warren DeLark, was relieved that the other got death, the other got life in prison without parole. And both got both penalties, both the minimum of life and the maximum of death for each person involved in the crime. This is known to be the first time in Pagosian history that someone was actually convicted and punished for perjury causing execution of an innocent person. And let's just hope that this is the first and only time, and that this such statue will remain an unused statue for the foreseeable future, and the Indigo Island and all of our families and communities will live on. This concludes part 2 of my short story. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope everyone has a great Christmas and a great holiday. Stay safe, be well, be careful, and enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the holidays with family, friends, and everybody. Enjoy. I'll see you all again after the holidays. I'll see you all again soon. More stuff on the way. More short stories, streams, premieres, and a whole bunch of other stuff in the works. I'll see you all again soon. I'll see you all again in the next video. This is Zach the Celtics guy saying thank you for watching. Happy holidays to everyone. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now. Peace out, and have a good one. See you later. See you again real soon.